Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Pastor Darrell from The Quest in Galesburg, Illinois. It just seems like sometimes life can be so upside down, crazy. It's been one of the days this morning. My wife let the dogs outside, forgot they were out there, and they were gone. It took almost 2 hours to find the second one. The first one about an hour, but that had me stressed out. And if you're watching the news, you see some of the stuff, and I don't care which side of the political spectrum you're on. The censorship from Twitter, from Facebook, from other news sources is just unacceptable. And, that had me stressed out. And, there's so many things. If you watch the news, you can get so stressed out. And it led me to thinking about, okay, what has your attention? It just, everybody's like that. You have days things are going wrong, but the question is, what do we see? What is our focus on? What's causing us to be happy, or what's causing us to be stressed, be joyful, whatever. And I got to thinking about it, and I was looking in the scripture, and Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse number 9. He said, "For a great and effective door has opened to me, and there are many adversaries." Like I said, so much of life depends on what is it you're focusing on. What has your attention? What are you looking at? What are you consumed with? The question that I want to ask you today is, what are you focusing on? Especially right now with the whole political thing going on, the picking of Supreme Court justice, and some people don't care, but others are stressed out to no end. I'm just astonished, honestly, at the overreactions from people from both sides. There comes a point in time to just hit the button, shut it off, because life's too short and too precious to be this consumed and this agitated by stuff like that. But it's not only about that, it's about things in ministry and things about our family life and so many things. The question is, what is it that you have your focus on? What's got your attention? Paul said that there was a great door open before him, but there were also many adversaries. Now here's the thing, you can choose, pardon me, I didn't shut everything down, I've got messages popping up. You can choose which thing you choose to focus on, which is going to get your attention. The great opportunity or the many adversaries. He had a choice, just like we have choice. There was a great door of opportunity standing right before him, or he could look at the adversities, the problems, and say, no, it's just not worth it. I heard a story many times. I don't know if it's true. One of them stories has been passed around forever, but it's a great illustration. An English shoe company sent a salesperson to a remote part of Africa that had not really been infiltrated by modern culture very much yet, and they sent the shoe salesman there. He came all excited, had a couple of boxes or suitcases full of shoes to sell. He no sooner arrived, spent a couple hours, he sent a wire back to England, told the bosses, he said, coming back home, nobody wears shoes here. Well, they turned around, they sent another shoe salesman out to the same place. He got there, was there just a very short time, and sent a wire back, prepare for a big order, wonderful opportunities in store. It depends on what you see and how you see it. Same situation, but what is your mindset? What causes you to make the decisions you make? I read another story several years ago, true story. There was a amateur geologist who was studying the layout and all once again in South Africa. While he was there, and this was in 1866, I had to look it up and get the right year here. 1866, he sees these children playing with a stone that is just glistening, and he asked the mother of the children if he could purchase it from her. Well, she thought it had no value, and so she simply gave it to the man. He took it back home and discovered that it was a 21-carat diamond. When word got out, the Scottish geologist, mineralogist by the name of James Gregory was sent to South Africa to investigate that region. After being there for a few weeks, he sent back a report and said, there really was no need to send any more teams there because his determination was that diamonds were not developing in South Africa. He said what was happening is that ostriches were eating the diamonds in other parts of Africa and bringing them down there, and they were having bowel movements, and they were finding the diamonds left behind because of the ostriches. Just a few short weeks after Gregory sent his report back, there was a 83-carat diamond found in that very same region. That diamond today is known as the Star of Africa, and that launched one of the largest diamond mining businesses ever in recorded history. It is the world's largest producer of diamonds. So what happened to Gregory? In the diamond industry, they tell me that whenever somebody makes a bad or poor judgment, when somebody makes a bad decision, they say he or she just pulled a Gregory. What a terrible way to be remembered. But the fact of the matter is, he saw obstacles. There was a great opportunity in front of him. He chose to focus on the obstacles. The diamonds, no, they were not laying out on the ground. They had to go into the mines and create mines to pull them out. Here's what I want to ask you to focus on. In Matthew chapter 13, Jesus is talking about finding your treasure in a field. There's a parable he tells there. Just go back and read it, Matthew chapter 13. And he says that there is a great treasure there. Here's my thing. If Jesus can turn the water into wine, if Jesus could feed 5 to 10,000, they say, based on from a boy's lunch, think what he could do through you. The problem is we tend to focus on the adversity, on the problem, when really there's a great door of opportunity standing before us. I've had so many people say things that even now as we're launching this church, they try to tell me, you're too old, the area has too many churches, on and on and on. If I listen to that, I would just quit. I don't feel old. I look at the statistics in this town, and there are less than 80% of the people, less than 21% of the people, almost 80% of the people in this community do not attend church. Tell me there's not a great door of opportunity. I refuse to see the adversity. Oh yeah, there are churches right here where I live, within a few blocks. There are a number of churches. You can stand downtown, in every direction you see, you'll see 1 or 2 churches everywhere. And you can look at that and say, well, the area is just over-churched. When the reality is, just like that region in South Africa, there are diamonds waiting to be harvested. I hope you hear something today that'll help you. Don't focus on your adversity. Look at the door of opportunity that God has given you. God bless you. Come back and see me again tomorrow on The Quest.